So let's go back to Biden Trump,
Yes.
right? We talked about what you'd want to hear more. I found your answer to be more what you would hear from Biden than Trump. So I'm asking Trump. I'm talking to Trump after this at 3:30. I talked to him on the phone, right?
Yeah.
So I want to ask him a question directly from you, not a question that I'm asking.
Yeah, something he's already done. I already asked. Will you expand? It was the prison release program that Angela.
First Step Act.
First Step Act. Will you expand the First Step Act? Because I think it's effective and I think it's needed. Will you do something directly opportunity zone related to black economics and business people?
What you done?
Yeah,
right.
No, I didn't say you hadn't done it, but expand it.
No, expand it.
I
That's what I'm saying.
I want more, not less. And will you put a lion's share, if possible, into black HBCUs specifically dealing with everything from trade to tech that this company is going to need, this country is going to need infrastructure-wise. And for anyone who heard that and only heard me talking about black people, it's not that I'm only talking about black people. That's the community I live in.
Right.
If that community is economically stronger, the whole community is economically stronger. So that's why my focus. First Step Act is not black specific.
Right.
That's just for working class kids. I don't care if you're Northern Alabama or Middle Georgia. In terms of the expansion of the opportunity zones, I just like to say that I would
go
like
into
to
rural
see,
areas also.
Yep, absolutely. And I would like to see in these cities where we are the Detroits, the Atlantas, the Chicagos, the Philadelphias, black athletes and entertainers that are there should be partnering with black business people that are there and moving the capital to become a next, like Hank Aaron was in Atlanta. They should be creating a black middle class.
Right.
You know, and not only a black middle class, but a middle class in those cities. There are lots of cities where the neighborhoods are dilapidated, the stadiums are beautiful. You can't tell me that the opportunity zones that come around those stadiums cannot be at the helm of people who've lived in those communities as legacy residents.
So essentially, the question is to expand the things that he's successfully already done.
He's successfully done.
So that being said,
this
comes the Shelley Winter, Trump supporter at my
now
best
you
friend
just said
and
I was
brother.
supporting Biden. Now you go.
No, I didn't say you supported Biden.
You said it sounded like it was in line with Biden.
No, the question sounded like they were more for Biden. But that being said, if he did three things that you want him to expand, and they're good plans, why wouldn't you support Trump since he's already done the three
I'm not
things?
supporting any Republican.
You're not, okay.
Yeah, I'm smoking weed and going to vote and coming home and hoping for the best.
I had to ask. I knew the answer, but I had to ask.
Yeah, I don't feel like
because my program director said, "Well, why didn't you ask him who he's going to vote for?"
Yeah, I'm not going to say. I'm not telling my grandmother, so you keep that private, just like the girls at the Blue Fly.
But you will. So before, but so you don't get in trouble like Charlemagne did erroneously. You're not saying not to vote. You're just saying,
I want you to vote.
Expand on that because
I think voting is important.
I
think voting is important. I think voting is important. Like, you know how like when you're out with your girl and you just having too good a time being the show off at the party, and she said, "You get home, I'm gonna go to sleep. You ain't getting no leg." And he's like, I gotta chill. That's kind of what a threat to not vote is. You know what I'm saying? It's telling the politician, I'm not going to give you what you want if you don't let me get what I deserve, if you don't give me something. And I think that just like we as men can take our...
There's a hell of an analogy to voting.
But
I'll never forget that as long as I live.
We're that dedicated to political parties, though.
Right.
We as an African American community,
as we are to our women.
Yeah, we are. We tend to be that dedicated, and if you're that dedicated, you deserve some at the end of the night. But that's all. You know what you got for me. You know what I mean? And that's anybody.
Right. So that's interesting because my woman can only but so many times tell me, no matter how much I act up at the party, I'm going to sleep tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then wake up the next morning and tell me I love you, and then I'm going to sleep tonight before I don't start looking at the neighbor differently.
Yeah, absolutely.
So why in the African American community we are still on the Democrat side when we've been told so many times I love you, but then I'm going to sleep at night?
Well, I think, man,
I thought that was genius what I just said.
I think that where Democrats and politicians have worked, they've really worked well for black people. Marion Barry and that summer jobs program produced at least 20, 30 people I know that Andy Young and Maynard in the jobs program here, not only put kids in school, got kids interested in college. At one time, Detroit was thriving. They punished them economically after the riots and stuff. So I think where it's worked, right? And generally, the worker class identifies with Democrats because they tend to support unions, things of that nature. What I'm afraid of with Democrats is that, unlike the Republicans, they don't encourage some of their more radical guys. I think that regardless,
meaning the radical left.
No.
Just the radical guys.
Just the radical guys that says, I got a radical idea. I got a radical idea like a 4-day work week. I got a radical idea like, I liked my guy on free health care. I liked my guy on state schools. I liked
your guy being Sanders.
I liked him. But that's not the typical black Democrat in Atlanta. So that was, what I mean? Right. The typical black Democrat in Atlanta look at me like, it ain't gonna make no money. Negro, you crazy. Right. But Sanders, I looked at as planting a seed, like my grandfather said, it's gonna be 20-year revolutions and stuff. So I just, every candidate has an opportunity through their media, their commercial, to meet me one-on-one and convince me. I'm never closing the door on being convinced. But my community is pretty married to the Democratic Party. I'm just saying demand more. I'm not saying get a divorce. I'm saying just demand more of your marriage than you're currently getting. And it works most effectively when you start on a local level. Chief Judge Asha Jackson starts the Pinnacle program that allows people who may be first-time offenders, who may be in some real trouble, it gives them 1 year to get their shit together. You got 1 year. These are the things you're going to do. You're going to accomplish in this year. End of the year, T.I. is going to come give you a speech. He's going to salute you. You're going to do well. You're going to go off. I've seen those kids graduate, do well. The governor hears of it, and Georgia Defense Counsel has started. It gets Miss Ali from juvenile court.
I remember when you called me about that meeting.
Yep. And now this Democratic judge, this Democrat judge in DeKalb County, has created something that our Republican governor saw fit to appoint a Democratic woman to ride statewide to end recidivism. Now, you think the state would loan more prisoners as cheap labor, but he wants to end recidivism. He's a Republican governor that saw value in a program started by a Democrat and appointed another Democrat to run it. That's politics versus which team.
Last question. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Right? As I said earlier, I have looked at you and Shay for many years, and I've dreamed of literally because I watch y'all too as a force to be reckoned with, and I watch y'all two grow, and I always say, man, what is the secret to that relationship between the secret? I know you argue what you said earlier, but what is the secret? I want my listeners to hear that a successful man is not successful without that.
I mean, it's no perfect. Both of us are imperfect. Both of us love each other, and then some days we can't stand each other, and we're relentlessly stubborn in the decision we've made. Relentlessly stubborn. In just my grandparents were married, and that's just what it was. And you know what I mean? Once you've made that decision, the decision is made. Now we have to make the decision a while. So now we didn't tell anybody the first 9 years we were married. We were just married.
Any particular reason?
I mean, we were doing drugs and rock and roll. We were riding around. I had children, a bunch of girls. I was living the exact rap fantasy that you would think a guy wearing a chain and a diamond Rolex would wear. And she and I lost a child together, and we just decided we didn't want to try that again. It hurt too much, and we traveled together more, and I just started to realize, unlike anyone else, I'm in solidarity with her on where I want to go and what my plans are, and I recognized she was a brilliant business mind in my mind. She's just she gets it. So just why would I throw that away? You know what I'm saying? I had to have some stability for myself and for my children because we came as a package deal. She made me feel the way my grandparents. Now, I didn't know what the hell my granddad did when he went fishing on the weekends. I just know when he came back Monday,
he was happy.
You know what I'm saying? He was happy, and him and Betty was happy the rest of the week. So I can't say they were perfect. Right. What I saw was two imperfect people loving the shit out of each other and refusing. I remember my grandfather got angry one time, and he threatened to leave. And my grandmother said, "Nope, you can't go unhappy. You didn't come here unhappy. You're not gonna leave unhappy." And I think that's it. So me and Shay are not perfect. If you want to follow us as an example, it comes with a lot of speed bumps. but we're determined to not let speed bumps and bullshit in our way. And I've dedicated myself to living the rest of my existence with this person in partnership and building something that after we leave, our grandchildren can profit from.
My man, I love you to death.
All right, love you back, man. Thanks for having me out.
Oh, did anybody want to ask a question? Did anybody want to ask?
So you're voting for Biden?
No?
Your future in politics?
I mean, I got 10 years more rap though. The Grammys gave me like a reset. So yeah, but I mean, to me, being involved in politics is making sure, you know, people they took it, you know, crazy when I suggested that Miss Abrams do more door knocking when I was on Charlamagne's show. They took it as me slighting her, but I was just simply telling her what people were saying to me. Right. So I'm never uninvolved in politics. As when I go to vote, the old ladies pull me to the side. They gotta talk to me first. Hey, this is what I need you to get them out. She has not been through my neighborhood yet, right. And I'm just because they're accustomed to people coming, right. Asking for it. You know what I mean? And so it's like I don't know what to do. I don't know how to unbe involved in politics because since I was 5 and my grandmother took me to Perry Homes to knock on people's door to vote for Andy Young, I haven't done anything else. And Andy, I remember saying to me a couple of years ago, that corridor along the west side of Atlanta is what got him elected, sent to Congress first, later ambassador, and then mayor. So, you know, I'm always involved. I'm just not publicly involved in the soap opera of it all, like when I was with Sanders. I think honestly, unless you really believe in a candidate like I did for Sanders, like I did for Warnock and Ossoff, like I did for State Abrams the first go around, it's just a waste. You're only involving yourself in the season, and when the season is over, you go back to mulling around, shopping at Lenox, doing whatever. But I'd like for more of us on a local level to get behind, like say Antonio Lewis. He had an amazing idea for
city council
person, young man from the Cleveland Avenue corridor. There's a problem. Your cars are getting broken into because kids are looking for guns, right? So we're a white to carry state. Our governor's made it so we can carry. I'm personally a fan of that. I don't have any problem with that. With that said, I lock my firearm in my trunk. You can't just break in my car and get my firearm. But there's these bags they make that you can't pull it from under the seat. You can't open the bag without it. If kids encounter enough of these bags, they're going to stop breaking into cars because there's no sense in doing it anymore, right? Antonio Lewis talked about that in the city council meeting, and it was crickets.
Right.
He talks about banning a Pooh Shiesty mask, and people all of a sudden are in an uproar, and I'm just like, wearing a mask.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's not a safe thing to do.
Exactly.
Right.
So I think we should be supporting local guys like that. We should be supporting local ordinances. And I think that just as a community, we need to do a better job of after church or synagogue or mosque, of after frat meeting or union meeting, having an extra 10 to 15 minute conversation just saying, what do you think? Not arguing, trying to teach, just what do you think? Because that's what I do when I go out in the neighborhood. Michael, what do you think? What should I do? Right. Because I've given new perspective to think about, and I'm thankful for that.
So Burt Jones is going to be our governor for 2 terms, and then Mike said 10 years. So that's Mike is going to run after Burt, and I would be probably winding down, retiring here, so I could run the campaign. So we got the whole plan for the next 10 years.
There it is.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank
Mike.
y'all so much. I appreciate y'all. Oh man, I love you, man.
Love you, brother.
I hope I gave you a good one, man.
You did.